Looks like it might be a part 3 to building foundations. Again, these are all timeless messages. They're for all zodiac signs. So the reason I say this might be a part 3 to building foundations is because we received pre-shuffle as I was tapping into the energies. 5 of Cups in reverse, 6 of Wands, and 4 of Wands, both upright. And in the last couple messages, the primary focus was on creating sustainability, building foundations to live your best life, and also how to emotionally regulate in order to ascend and overcome competition. If you're curious what I'm listening to, I have a Spotify under the same name as my shop, Earthcraft by Ellie. Same on Instagram. You can find links in the description or my profiles. This is my instrumental playlist. Perhaps I'll pin that in the comments. We'll see. I'm getting a few messages out today. So, I will do my best to transcribe this message both in the 3D and the 5D for those of you that are hearing impaired. I have provided captions for this reading. I will do my best to call out every card. For those of you who know tarot, can follow along and interpret the cards yourselves, maybe read between the lines. Alright, so underneath the 5 of Cups, right before I began, is the 9 of Pentacles. Underneath the 6 of Wands is the Queen of Wands in reverse, and underneath the 4 of Wands is the Queen of Swords upright. And then on the side, I pulled the 5 of Wands. So let's get into this. So we are releasing some kind of deep sadness, sorrow, grief to move towards our victory, success, and celebrating an epic foundation. In order to overcome the 5 of Cups in reverse, we had to claim our independence. We had to become more secure with the 9 of Pentacles. However, there have still been things we've had to release to be victorious, such as trying to force outcomes or toxically manifest our desires. See part 2 of Building Foundations for more. Queen of Swords underneath the foundation tells me that you can be both intelligent and empathetic when it comes to making decisions for your life and how you need to proceed to build this solid foundation, this ceremony, this commitment, this higher calling with yourself and the divine, with others. Five of Wands is a card of competition, of fighting, coming up against great odds, of change. Yeah, I just pulled the 9 of Wands in reverse, which is the card of the Wounded Warrior. This card seems to be fluctuating in all of my recent readings. And the King of Cups on top of that. Interesting. The King of Cups is the energy of using your wise mind, which is a balance of your intelligence and your emotional intelligence. So combining the best aspects of your mind and your heart and being able to observe life, have empathy for yourself and for others, yet be a secure, solid force. And this is how you start a new cycle with the world. It also puts you out there in a different energy to the universe as to what you can co-create with the universe. So from great conflict with the Five of Wands to the Nine of Wands in reverse, it's an end to feeling like you have to battle things. The World card is the last card in tarot. Just pull the Eight of Wands in reverse. This is usually quick forward movement. It can represent communication, can represent social media, it can represent traveling really fast somewhere. So in reverse tells me that something has been stopped or delayed. And then I just pulled the Hangman in reverse, which is a change of perspective or inability to change your perspective, which is stopping you from moving forward in something. Okay, we're going to move on. Nine of Swords in reverse. You've put an end to mental chaos. It's similar to the Nine of Wands, where they're both catastrophic cards, where like all odds are up against you and you're under heavy attack and you have to fight your way through. And it's nines are about graduating. 10 is completion, but 9 is graduating out of something. And in reverse means you've already come out of it, or something is blocking you in order to come out of it. King of Pentacles. This was also in Building Foundations Part 2. This was all about in the last reading, because I do feel like this is connected. 3 days in a row doing tarot. Let me tell you, messages are coming through rapidly now for me, which is great for you all. So yeah, in the last reading, we were talking about how your new quest, your new journey is to become more stable, to become more grounded and down to earth and balanced, to know that you can create your own security. Then not only that, but you're already in that energy. We pull another card. Judgment. Awakenings. We talked about that in the last reading as well, where you have gone through a great awakening. This is a life, death, and rebirth process. Wow, and the Star. This is powerful energy, whoever in the collective I am picking up on. And this is a collective message, so it's meant for everyone. If you listen to my Building Foundations 1, I talk a little bit more about what the collective is. I also talk a little bit about 3D versus 5D thoughts later in that message. For those of you that are new to these kinds of terminology, I thought it might be helpful, some spiritual wisdom as a spiritual guide. And then I just pull Temperance. Come on, are you kidding me? Wow, this is powerful energy. Judgment, the Star, and Temperance. And then we've also got the World, the Hanged Man, even if it's in reverse. 2 Kings. 2 Queens, 1 in reverse, 1 upright. Huh. Don't have any divine counterpart matches at this time. I don't really do love readings, but if certain messages for certain people come through, then I've decided that I will be open to reading on them. But I don't get lost in narratives, dramas, what ifs, the past, like unhelpful cycles. That's not part of my work. Yeah, okay, so then we pull the Ten of Swords in reverse. So that's either, again, this was in last reading as well. It's about having a hard time closing a painful chapter, or one being done, one that has caused you great pain and suffering. It also follows the Nine of Swords. So we have the Nine of Swords in reverse, the Ten of Swords in reverse. We also have the Eight of Wands in reverse and the Nine of Wands in reverse. So I'm feeling it's more that you're completed, that these are done, because there's a lot of other powerful cards here. I mean, Judgment is awakening, Star is healing from that awakening, and Temperance is balancing all environments. It's also a card of having patience, and that's then with the Ten of Swords in reverse, it's saying like you've had to have a lot of patience, or you are learning patience as you conclude this painful chapter. Prince of Wands in reverse, Eight of Swords in reverse, Princess of Wands, Seven of Cups in reverse. Put an end to impulsive, irrational, selfish ways of being, ways that were keeping you stuck in your mind, in order to pursue a new quest, a new opportunity. You're learning things along your way about things that used to keep you emotionally confused, being limited, perceived limits of options, or feeling like you aren't an option, or things are not an option to you. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. This also came up in the last reading a lot. I mean, a lot of these cards are going to come up, but I'm feeling a strong energetic pull to those readings, so definitely check those out. Ace of Pentacles, it's usually, if you look at it from a simply material aspect, and Pentacles is of the material, it's of the 3D, then it's usually a huge offer, it's a huge financial windfall, it's a long-term gift of stability from spirit, or something you have built that is solid, usually in the 3D. That could be anything. That could be a career, that could be a relationship, that could be your home, that could be something tangible that you're creating or working with other people on, but it's usually it's a huge blessing to you. It can also be like coming into a lot of fortune and wealth and abundance. And remember, this is, even though it's a 3D aspect, it is still more than just money. It's more than being stuck in the rat race to feel like you're accomplished. It's about feeling abundant within yourself. So in reverse, this is telling me that you still don't feel abundant. You still don't feel like you can make any big offers on something. Let's find out why. Two of Cups. This is a divine union, and it doesn't have to be romantic. It can be with yourself, it can be with spirit, or it can be with a soulmate. I mean, it usually represents sharing like the ultimate love with somebody. Even this card from the Cosmic Tarot, it's a very romantic, passionate card, and both cups are flowing into each other. So it can also represent that within yourself. For some reason, I keep thinking with yourself and with spirit, how you co-create with spirit in order to manifest in the 3D. We did talk a little bit about that in the last couple of readings as well, and how we are co-creating our reality, and our perspectives do affect how we manifest, whether you are somebody who's spiritual or not. Prince of Cups in reverse. Four of Cups. Ten of Wands. I feel like you've been waiting for a long time for some kind of offer. It's been really disappointing. You're honestly a little bored and over it. Yeah. You're done watching and waiting with the Princess of Swords in reverse that I just pulled. You're also done with carrying a burden with the Ten of Wands. In the last reading, which is in video form, by the way, you can actually see me pulling the cards in that one. I do both audio and video for YouTube, so you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes you can listen and sometimes you can watch. The Hermit. So you're watching. I'm just teasing. Seven of Wands in reverse, and you're no longer fighting something. You no longer feel the need to defend something because you've gone inward and you've done the work on your soul, on your purpose, on how you can be of service, how you can be healthy, what you have to offer, how you can help. How you can overcome a lack of courage with strength in reverse. The Moon. Some kind of inner guidance, secrets, hidden knowledge. This is also psychic, empathic, emotional, strong energies of Cancer, Pisces, and the Moon. Three of Pentacles in reverse. And the Hierophant. Maybe you feel like you can't collaborate. Like there's some kind of gatekeeper in the way. Some kind of hierarchy that you can't quite access. Or you feel like you don't have access to. With the Hierophant card there. But it's also a card of being a spiritual leader in your own right. And then I see the Ace of Cups come out. So this is a huge love offer. This is a gift. This is also self-fulfillment, self-love, creating something powerful, or having this offered to you by another person or spirit. Death in reverse. So it's the end of a change. Or it's refusing to change. Let's see. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Some kind of karmic cycle that you are still stuck in. In the last reading, we talked about turning the wheel yourself. But that's what you needed to do. Prince of Swords in reverse. Usually the Prince of Swords, or Knight of Swords, as it's known in other traditional decks, is somebody who's coming in quick to communicate something. Somebody who has knowledge and experience and wisdom and something to share, to bring justice in a sense. Yeah, the Chariot, moving forward after a hard journey. So in reverse, the Prince of Swords, something is blocking the journey forward with the Chariot. But the Chariot it comes after a dark night of the soul, which we again have talked about in recent themes and collective messages. For the Queen of Cups, which again, just pulled that. That was also our foundational card for these readings. So, and also those are both cards of Cancer. We actually have 3 cards for Cancer. And when I speak on zodiac signs, I'm speaking about the energies. I'm also an astrologer professionally. And yes, I do give private readings for tarot, oracle, psychic, or astrological spiritual guidance. Description box or email if you are interested. So we have the Moon, we have the Chariot, we have the Queen of Cups, all cards of Cancer, and they're all big energies. Cancer rules emotions, psychic energies, the deep, the hidden, secrets, love, compassion, creating, nurturing. The Chariot, even though it's a Cancer card, it very much more represents the cardinal nature of Cancer. And what do I mean by cardinal? Well, cardinal signs are the first signs of every season. So they are forward-moving, go-getters, initiators, builders. They create. They start things. Like Aries season we're in right now, which again, this is a timeless reading, so if it doesn't apply, it doesn't apply. But just so you know, Aries season is about new beginnings. It's a cardinal sign. Okay? And then Cancer, right? Etc., etc. There are 4 modalities in the zodiac. Excuse me, 3 modalities. I was thinking there are 4 signs for every month. Oh my goodness. I don't know what Spirit was trying to convey there. Let's see. The Tower. Yeah, a big shakeup. Okay, so there's another tower here. This is a new tower. With the 6 of Cups. This has to do with something from your past. Some kind of soul level experience. And towers can be good too. They don't have to be bad. And considering here we have the Chariot, the Queen of Cups, and then the Tower with the 6 of Cups leading up to that. And then also previously we had Judgment, the Star, Temperance, and the King of Cups. We have both. We now have an official divine counterpart energy with the King and Queen of Cups, both upright. So something that is being created in collaboration, and it could be with Spirit, it could be with yourself, it could be family, it could be soul tribe, it could be work, it could be love. I feel like this is a good tower. I don't feel like this is a bad tower. You just came out of a bad tower if you are part of the sorry, don't mean to phrase it like that. If you're part of the energies that are receiving these messages, that these messages are meant for, that I'm picking up on. I really feel like this is a good tower somehow. It's a positive change. Yeah, I just pulled the 9 of Cups. That's confirmation. You can relax and take a deep breath now. Yeah, I just took one with you, okay? 9 of Cups is personal wish fulfillment, which has also been following us on these readings recently. It's about how you fill your own cup, and we had the Ace of Cups below, and we were talking about some things that are still blocking you, and things that you have resolved to unblock yourself. So let me ask Spirit, how do we move forward, turn the wheel, and get out of this karmic cycle so we can claim our 9 of Cups and have this good tower? The 2 of Swords. The High Priestess in reverse. And the 4 of Pentacles. So right away, and just came out, the Emperor. It was upright, but it flipped to reverse in my hands, which was kind of interesting. So that could go either way. The 2 of Swords is about making a mental decision. Typically in the card you see somebody blindfolded with their arms crossed with two swords blocking something. So not wanting to receive messages or not being able to make clear choices because two represents a choice, or make choices with another person because it can also represent two people and a divide between decision making and collaborating and communicating in that way. So some kind of communication, usually it means that you have to use your intuition because the blindfold represents not being able to see the 3D, but to use the 5D senses. However, in this depiction, with this deck, this is a person sitting relaxed next to a pond at night, petting what looks like a cat, might be a raccoon, I'm not really sure to be honest. And there's like one toe dipped into the water and one dangling above. There's the two swords stuck in the ground next to them. And there is the moon in the background and a night sky. And there are two birds flying in front of the moon. If you look deeper into the picture, the water goes on and it looks like peaceful, still waters, little ripples, and then a boat in the distance. There's also a connecting dock, it looks like, but there's a gap between where they are to where they want to be. This can all represent mental energy, right? You are sitting still and you're thinking about taking a step, but you're not sure about the unknown in between. You know there's a journey beyond you, behind you, and there's a way to take the journey. So you put your swords down so you're not blocking something. You're also relying on spirit guides with the animal. And there's also the lotus blossoms, which represent coming from deep waters, murky, muddy waters, and transforming into this beautiful spiritual essence. A great quote is, "No mud, no lotus." So you're not sure if you want to risk getting stuck in something, but you know that from that grows something beautiful. So moving on, the High Priestess is typically the most intuitive, mystical, psychic card. And in reverse, it represents secrets being revealed. Four of Pentacles in reverse means letting go of something, and it's usually something tangible. And with the Emperor, it tells me, and with it, I'm going to read it in reverse, even though it flipped. I feel like it should be read in reverse. So the Emperor in reverse means that you have to risk losing your own authority if you decide to reveal this hidden knowledge. Three of Wands. You've already chosen a path. Now you're sitting in contemplation, waiting for your manifestation to come in. You're collaborating, using divine inspiration, guidance, and the ability to manifest your reality to achieve the Ten of Pentacles. Wow. Well, we had the King of Pentacles earlier. Again, we were talking about this is a spiritual journey. It's a new quest that is leading you to feel that security. And Ten of Pentacles is the representation of that success. It is, next to the Ten of Cups, the ultimate happiness card, having everything available to you, having all your assets, all your resources, all assistance, all ability to make decisions, take moves, and have a good life in this 3D world. It is complete security in all ways, physical, tangible, and material. But you have to remember that even the material also has spiritual essence. That it's not either or. It's being able to balance the two, like the Temperance card. Even the Star card and the Temperance both share that peaceful state in union with the divine after a deep, dark time, and much healing, balancing, and patience, and being able to shine, and being able to alchemize your environment no matter what. Just flew out the Six of Pentacles in reverse and the Devil card. And in the other reading, we talked about how the lighter side of the Devil card, because everybody knows the negative aspects, not everyone, I apologize for saying that, but most people who know tarot know that the Devil card, what it represents. But a lot of people don't talk about the positive associations of Saturn and Capricorn, which is mastery. And Six of Pentacles in reverse means feeling like there isn't equal give and take, or you're ready to give up things that may have knocked you out of the ability to give and take equally. Which, if you were to go with the negative associations of the Devil card, that is what that would represent. Being able to decide, okay, this is what's getting in my way from having this Ten of Pentacles. Let's pull another one on the Six of Pentacles in reverse. Three of Cups in reverse. Okay, this also came up. So feeling like you can't create something with somebody else. Feeling isolated. Feeling like you don't have a sense of community. Feeling like you don't have a way to reach out and express yourself with others, and especially share emotional communion with. To be sensitive, to be graceful, to be loving, to be creative, and to celebrate. So letting go of things that have devil energy that are making you feel like you can't celebrate life, which makes you feel like you can't give or receive. Justice card. It's about balance, equality, fairness, getting your justice, or having justice upon you. It's, I just heard, I'm a psychic medium, by the way. I just heard from my guides that this is spirits. I don't want to call it a test, but spirits watching over your karmic cycle. And spirit typically is, whether we're in tune with spirit or not. Spirit is everything. We are spirit. The collective is everyone. Remember that. We are all just different aspects of different energies. So this is balance and equality. Spirit is asking you how you're going to do with this balance and equality. See, oftentimes when we're trying to call in something, when we're trying to manifest something, Spirit will give us little tastes of it, and we may not realize it. Kind of like the Four of Cups card. We won't see the blessing for what it is when it's being offered. And say you ask to have more than enough money in the bank to where you can do whatever you want, essentially, and take care of all your needs, right? So Spirit will start testing you to see, first of all, if you fall back into old karmic cycles, like the wheel in reverse, being stuck in karmic cycles, not being able to move forward, not being able to accept divine gifts. Remember that karma is created by you, and it is neither negative or positive. It is literally what you do, what you express, what you feel is what you create, and that creates more of that. So remember that. The end result of karma, if you are fortunate enough in this lifetime, and as I'm saying this, the song on the playlist is called Awakenings, so that's important somehow. You have gone through awakenings, and this part of the collective has gone through great awakenings. If you are a highly spiritual person, and I sense that you've already judged yourself a lot. If you are lucky enough to come out of an awakening and see your blessings and understand deeper truths in this universe and beyond, and you consistently put in work and effort to clearing karma, ending karmic cycles, putting up boundaries for your highest and greatest good with energies that are keeping you stuck, so you can grow, so you can expand, so you can evolve as a soul, which is, in my opinion, why we reincarnate over and over and over and over again. If you're interested in soul's evolution, highly recommend looking into evolutionary astrology. It's one of the forms of astrology I practice. The evolution of the soul, karma isn't like, oh, you did this bad thing and now this bad thing's going to happen to you. I just saw the Sun card. Actually, the Sun card came out when I was doing a pre-shuffle just to kind of get into the energy. And we've talked about happiness here and coming out of dark times, and awakenings do illuminate. They do heal, even if it's extremely painful and difficult to go through. When you understand the deeper meaning of life and your soul's purpose, and you're following your north node, which is your true north, your guiding light, your soul's purpose in this lifetime, you can shine confidently in all your glory for the world to see, for the highest and greatest good. And that is when you achieve Dharma. Dharma is living your best life, is being in peace, harmony, and love, and having everything work out for you. And people who try to put that down, put it down because they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe it's possible. So therefore they reject the possibility of other people living their best life, which makes them skeptics, which makes them question other people's blessings. But remember, you really don't know 80% of what goes on with people. Even people you socialize with, how often do you have deep conversations with those people? How often do you listen to receive, not just speak? Do you have an open heart and open mind? Are you balanced? Are you grounded? Are you able to give what you want to receive? How do you do that? Magician in reverse and Ace of Swords. You let go of deceptive ways of perceiving the world and what you can create. You let go of manipulation, whether it's other people who manipulate you or you trying to manipulate others. This is the truth. This is justice. This is the epiphany. The magician is all about having all the elements available to you and being able to create your own reality. It's about seeing the bigger picture, working with spirit, working with the 3D, communicating and speaking your truth to the world. Once you let go of your lack mentality, you can have a new journey. Five of Pentacles in reverse and the Fool. Five of Pentacles in reverse is another haunting card, we'll call it. We talked about that. Perhaps you have. Perhaps you have spoken your truth, which has got you out of a lack mentality. You've had clarity, and now you can begin a new journey. But this Magician in the reverse just pulled the King of Swords in reverse. Now that's interesting. Those are both air energies. Well, the Magician is both air and earth because it represents Mercury, and also Mercury rules both Gemini and Virgo. Okay? Gemini, air, Virgo, earth. King of Swords is air. This energy, if it's viewed negatively, can represent a person that is emotionally abusive, either to themselves or others or both. It can represent just unstable energies. And that could be somebody around you, or it could be something you went through. It could also represent mindsets in how you create and how you speak your truth. And I just pulled the Four of Swords. And this is sitting, this is meditating, this is thinking on, this is also having discussions with others, but not quite getting to the point of action. So you've had some kind of conversations and you've had a lot of deep thinking about maybe these energies of these negative mental perspectives, really, on how you can create and how you can speak your truth. I'm going to give the full deck a shuffle, so if you need to lower the volume, please do. I feel like this reading is getting close to concluding. There's some strange energy that's coming in, so whoever I'm reading for, well, I mean, I recommend this for everybody. Real quick, let me shuffle. Try to be gentle. I thoroughly cleanse and ground and meditate before I go into these readings, so I come in clear. And I can tell you that you need to cleanse yourself. You have a lot of interception and interference in your energy, and this could apply to multiple people. I feel like it is for multiple people. I feel like this is a standard message. If you don't know how to cleanse yourself, and I'm not talking about your hygiene, however, having personal hygiene, it's like Christians say cleanliness is next to godliness. Well, the whole point of that is to say that if you are pure, you are able to access the divine better. And the divine are constantly guiding us. And regardless of your faith and your actual spiritual beliefs, the divine is all encompassing. The divine is every faith. It is every religion. It is every spiritual practice. It is even the animals, the signs, the synchronicities that are in our daily life that give us beauty and meaning. That is spirit. That is the divine. And if you constantly have energies of old hanging on you, whether it's physical hygiene that you are having issues with, or if it's spiritual cleansing that you have to take a next level on, it's good to have some kind of practice. And if you don't believe in that, that's okay. Then this is not your message. I'm speaking to people who want spiritual guidance, who understand how to work with energies, or learning to do so. So one of the easiest ways that you can cleanse yourself, other than taking a shower or a spiritual bath, you can, if you can't use smoke, if you can, use incense. Something really easy, and you can use this for manifesting, or you can use this just to meditate. If you are not sensitive to scents, you can also find scents that work for you. Anyways, incense. Incense is great for that. You just set an intention and light some incense, and regardless of the intention of that particular incense, the properties of that, like lavender would be for love and communication and harmony, right? Positive vibes, relaxation. You just set the intention that your energy is cleansed and cleared, and that any negative attachments are removed from you and your energy filled. And if you'd like, you can say something like, as above, so below, as within, so without. I give it to spirit. It is done. It is so. You do you. You can just say, I'm cleansed, woohoo, and walk away, and it's done. I don't know. You practice the way you want to practice, and you don't even have to do spiritual practice. You don't even have to be a practitioner to keep your energy cleansed, because remember, our energies are constantly interacting with other energies, because everything is energy, everything is spirit. Now spirit's channeling. All right, so let's get another card out here. Ace of Swords, and that's the truth. There you go. Confirmation from spirit. When your energy is cleared, remember, whatever you clear, you also want to invoke what you want. Call in what you want. Because if you cleanse and you don't put positive energy back into that space or stable energy, it's just going to fill up with whatever energy was last in your space. It's going to linger back in. Old attachments are going to try to reconnect to you. And you're going to be constantly cleansing yourself, which is freaking exhausting. Let me tell you, as a spiritual practitioner, I cleanse all day, every day, throughout my day, because of all the energies I work with. The average human can probably cleanse maybe, I'd like to say every few days, but once a week would probably suffice. If you really don't want to do it that often, I would suggest at least every new moon and every full moon. So that's 2 weeks, okay? Another way you can cleanse yourself is grounding yourself with the earth. So walking barefoot on land, or putting your hands in some soil. That's something you can do if you live, say, in a city where you don't really have access to nature. You don't even have to grow plants. Just get a cup of soil, and whenever you need to ground yourself, hold the soil. Put your hands in the soil. Okay? If that's gross, then that's not your thing. You can also cleanse yourself with a selenite crystal. Apparently Spirit wants me to talk about cleansing, so it's very important, especially when you're coming out of an awakening, you're doing massive healing, you're setting intentions for a new start, for what you want to develop. Because eventually, when you come out of the dark night and you've had enough time to rest, you start to think, okay, what's next? Where are we going? Who am I now? You start to discover these things. You also discover what is keeping you from having these new beginnings with the Ace of Wands in reverse. That's the card of new inspired actions, happy new beginnings, a new spiritual path. So some of you are feeling opposed to the idea of these practices, which I'm not surprised. Queen of Wands in reverse. You may even look at it, maybe some of you have a more Christian perspective where you think it's of the devil. If you are here and you are thinking that, first of all, I am surprised you are still tuned in. That means something must be resonating with your soul if you are still here. Because I don't let negative energy into my space, and neither does spirit. So if you're here to hate, shame on you. Remember, there are karmic consequences to all your actions, whether acted on or not. What you think becomes your reality, so be careful with your thoughts. That was from spirit, by the way. Queen of Wands in reverse, feeling like you can't work magic, and next to Ace of Wands in reverse, it's just like something is repelling to you. Prince of Cups in reverse. Receiving love. Receiving love. That's what's repelling to you. Why Two of Swords? Feeling like you have to make a choice. And Two of Pentacles. Juggling options. Having two different physical paths you can take. And still feeling imbalanced. So it sounds like you need to decide what option or path you want to take. Remove one of those options from your mind. Find balance and security within yourself. Sometimes this requires asking for help, like the Five of Pentacles in reverse, which we keep getting. In the last reading, I mentioned that if you know how to be kind to yourself and ask for help, there are resources available to you. Because before you get to the state of balance, you have to master that lack mentality of the Five of Pentacles. So you let that go. You also let go of your attachment to what you were offering your cup to that was not balanced. You have to let go of an old offer or an old project or an old person in order to feel balanced. And then I pull the Princess of Wands, and this is part of your new quest. In order to remember, the King of Pentacles, in order to be secure, to have it all, to achieve the Ten of Pentacles like we received earlier. Queen of Swords and the Empress in reverse. Okay, this might be a separate message for some people specifically, but I am sensing a strong connection with the Queen of Swords, that this is a person heavily judging your ability to create, judging your ability to nurture, looking at you with this cold, detached manner, because I feel like you're actually the Empress here, but right after that, because I pulled the Empress in reverse after the Queen of Swords, and then we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse again. So that's the second time that's come out. So I feel like whoever is judging you, and you're aware of it, it's making you feel like you can't create or get out of this cycle. This could be somebody that you offered your cup to, that you had a false start with, or you thought you had a friendship with, but it wasn't equal give and take. And this realization led you to this new quest, which is learning how to collaborate with others and not isolating yourself with the Three of Cups in reverse. Again, we are receiving that card. I'm going to do another full shuffle, so turn the volume down if you must. Thank you if you're still here. If this message is resonating with you, I don't know why, but dolphins are coming to mind. Put a dolphin emoji in the comments to let me know that this message is resonating, that you're still hanging in there. I'm unsure of the time on this right now because I'm using my audio recorder. But I do feel like we will be doing the oracle cards very soon. So this experience, again, Nine of Wands in reverse, Wounded Warrior, putting an end to feeling like you're a victim and all these terrible things are going to happen to you. I think I mentioned before that a lot of people like to read the Three of Cups like it's a third-party situation, which it can represent that. But in this deck, it's two people who have created a thing together, and in reverse implies that it's the end of that. Yeah, Five of Swords in reverse. You put an end to mental abuse, being pinned, being manipulated. You put an end to feeling like you can't have peace, feeling like you constantly have to explain yourself to somebody. You put an end to all these other projections that were coming your way, which means you should be able to walk into the Six of Swords, which is safe passages. It's traveling towards what you want. Yeah, Eight of Pentacles. You're doing the work. You're working on something very hard. Four of Cups. Your emotional foundation. The Hierophant. Higher spiritual knowledge. And Queen of Cups. How to be empathetic to yourself and others. How to be a loving, nurturing person. By letting go of material things that do not matter. Possibly walking away from a material foundation like a home, a job, a person, a place, a thing, because Pentacles, again, are material. So Four in Pentacles in reverse implies letting go of something or needing to let go of a tangible aspect in order to graduate. And we already had the Five of Pentacles, remember, in reverse, and we had the Six of Pentacles in reverse. So this is 4, 5, 6. That could be a synchronistic number for somebody. It's a number of progression, of taking steps. So foundation, change, and then balance, right? And all these cards are in reverse, so it does tell me that you're letting go of some things in order to walk on this journey. Yeah, because of the Tower. Whatever this positive Tower, and then I pull the World card. Okay. This is a huge end of a chapter. It's not just the end of a cycle, it's the end of a book. You're being able to create something huge here, overcoming these obstacles, letting go of these people that made you feel imbalanced, or situations. Yeah, Ten of Wands upright. Seven of Swords, walking away. Walking away from the Ten of Wands. Walking away from the end of a very difficult, soul-wrenching, painful time. Choosing yourself. And spirit. 7 is the number of spirituality and spirit, not just partnerships in 7th house, not just luck and good fortune. It's the number of spirit. And in this picture, this person is walking away and their left arm is reached out and they're wearing like a long jacket or cloak or whatever. And it almost looks like they have their hand on the shoulder of an invisible force as they're walking away towards this beautiful moonlit sky, and the swords are all on the ground behind them, like looking like a battle has been won and it's over. So it's like almost like they become friends with their higher knowing. They become friends with spirit. There is a union here. They are walking away from the mental conflict, away from the imbalances, away from painful change, into the unknown, into the dark, towards the moon, towards the intuition, and away from the Five of Cups in reverse, which we just pulled again, and that started the reading. So let me see if there's any advice I can gain from Spirit for y'all. I might pull 1 to 3 more cards, and then I think we're going to conclude this with some Oracle. The Fool, the Journey, the Chariot, and the Devil. Whew! All right. Well, whoever is still at the end of this reading, because if you're still here, this message is definitely for you. It is so for you because I know most people don't have the attention span to make it past a 10-minute video these days. No offense, but y'all know. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Look, I have a Taurus moon and a Taurus north node. I take my damn time. Thank you very much. But it's worth it. So the Fool, the Chariot, the Devil. This is a new adventure you've decided to embark on to master your life, which also happens to master the 3D by not being chained to it, by choosing your own destiny and walking with faith towards the unknown. So the advice here, Four Swords, Princess of Swords in reverse, High Priestess in reverse, repeat cards. The advice, meditate on how you can stop watching and start speaking your truth, sharing your story, revealing secrets, expressing your intuition outwardly, not just keeping it to yourself. So this is a lesson in communicating through emotional intelligence. It really seems like a lot of outside forces have made you think that you couldn't function, that you couldn't think for yourself. Like, let me say, like, getting spiritual guidance is good. If you read your own cards, because I know a lot of other readers follow other readers. I follow other readers, and intuitives and psychics and witches, etc., etc. Point is that you can, if you rely too heavily, if you're not in balance with yourself and spirit, with yourself and your community, you will heavily rely on the other opinions and not your own intuition, which the Two of Swords represents following your intuition to make a choice, but also using discernment to have mental clarity and also reducing your choices so you are not blocked. So you can pick a path, you can speak your truth, because the Princess of Swords, it usually is, they say, what is it that people say? Why talk when you can just stalk? It's not just about people, but it does seem like there's some form of intimacy here, and I'm tripping up over my words. So yeah, whoever I'm channeling in on, and I just pulled Temperance and the King of Wands. So whoever I am currently feeling your energy, and it is very nervous, to be honest. And I can tell this makes you very uncomfortable, so you do struggle with it. It is a karmic cycle which you are ending and you are mastering in order to feel secure, and you've had to cut a lot of people out of your life, and you have some kind of story to share. Meditation will help you if you don't already practice. Temperance, again, alchemizing your environment, having patience, having balance. And King of Wands, that is being a leader in their own, like, they are the leader. Next to the Emperor, like, they are the leader. Okay? And I really feel like this is more about you learning how to lead yourself and not let other people lead you. When I talk about advocacy work as far as neurological functioning and overcoming complex post-traumatic stress disorder and other conditions that are caused by traumatic situations, dark nights of the soul, spiritual awakenings, all these things, I try to help people understand how to help themselves, how to lead with their own authority. And while it can be good to get other people's perspectives, the only perspective that you carry with you is your own. And a lot of times there are people that will codependently cling to other people's opinions because it almost makes them like it's not their responsibility when they act. I know this is coming through from Spirit. This is a specific message for someone. or somebody's. It makes you not the responsible party if you can say, well, I took your advice and it didn't work out. The question you should be asking yourself, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to should on you. The question you can ask yourself is, first of all, go inward and ask yourself whatever question you would ask your friend or whoever, your advisor, your counselor, your family member, your partner, your coworker, your team, your family, whoever it is. Ask yourself the question first. Get a notebook or a recorder. Here's a little exercise for you. And just see what comes up. Don't judge it. Just see. Write it down. And do this in a flow state. Ten of Swords in reverse. This is how you get out of your mental prison and conclude this, okay? You have to process your emotions. And by constantly looking for the approval of others, you're not giving yourself your own authority. You're not having your own power, which that's what the King of Wands is being in your full authority, other than the Emperor, and being able to lead others. When you can lead yourself, you can lead others. So if you know that you can go inward and receive the answers and trust your own inner guidance and the guidance of spirit, if you work with spirit, the divine, your faith, you can accomplish this. You can make decisions. You can free yourself. You can create new realities. You can have anything you want in this life. You will be a force to be reckoned with. Death in reverse. Princess of Cups. And Justice. And Ace of Pentacles in reverse. And Judgment. Okay, this is another side message. You're scared to change. You want to give a compassionate and loving offer to something or somebody or someone or for yourself. You're afraid you're going to be judged for not having enough, and this is going to cause an imbalance. For others, you have decided to make a change and offer your cup to give someone else their balance, even if you feel like you don't have enough. You know it's a part of your journey and your awakening. One more card. Seven of Wands in reverse. Stop fighting the wheel turning. Stop blocking your own blessings. Six of Wands, and there we are. Six of Wands was also at the beginning. That is the card of victory, success, public recognition. It is balance of your quests. It is accomplishing harmony and truly shining. And it's interesting to get the Seven of Wands in reverse and then the Six of Wands. It's like by putting down your defenses, you are successful. Even though it seems like you're taking a step back, you're actually taking 2 steps forward. Actually, many steps forward, because I believe we had 8, 9, and 10 of Wands in this reading earlier. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of Wands. I believe even we had 5 of Wands. That's the progression. That's the quest. So this is the final thing in your awakening in this death cycle. In order to step forward as the King of Pentacles, as secure, as stable, as balanced, and also being your own authority, being a leader in your own right, trusting your own judgment, trusting your own intuition. The universe will actually confirm your intuition. If you work with spirit or you work with the universe, you can ask them to show you signs of proof of your manifestations if you know how to release. Because the key to manifesting is once you've set the intention to let it go and know that it is done. And no, it's not easy. It's a skill that you acquire over time. You really have to battle the ego to get to that point of manifestation. But once it clicks for you, everything else falls into place. Those that are more spiritually advanced live in the world of signs and synchronicities and are guided by spirit and are successful for having faith. And it does not matter what your faith is. And we are also in Pisces North Node season for the next couple years. We are learning how to lead our spiritual divine essence in this world. Anyways, if you don't want to stick around for the oracle cards, I thank you for being here. Please feel free to leave a comment with any thoughts on your own experience. I would love to hear your stories. Do try to keep yourself grounded. Call your energy back to you always. After every reading, call all your power back. Let's take a deep breath together right now. Take what resonates and leave the rest behind. Call it. I just pulled from the Black Moon astrology cards. Well, I should say Spirit did. I didn't even realize I picked the cards up. That can happen sometimes. But I pulled third house, number 27, messages. And this is a card of Mercury. If you're following in real time, or within a week of this message, Mercury is still retrograde until April 7th. And third house is ruled by Mercury and Gemini. Pay attention to the messages you're receiving from the universe. 27, synchronistic number, is also a sign of making a wish. Make a wish. Maybe make a wish about how you communicate. Set some intentions on how you can better receive people, translate information, and trust your own inner guidance system. Ask Spirit to show you how. Or ask your ancestors. Or look into learning more about mindfulness and also for those of you that experience, again, this is medical disclaimer, I'm not a mental health or medical professional, but I am an advocate and a spiritual guide. I have life experience. I know what I'm talking about, and I have resources to share. You can check out my other work on my channel if you're interested. Please like, share, and subscribe. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Something that can help you if you are in the process of healing from life events in the psychological field. There are a few steps, and depending on what you struggle with, a professional can help you figure that out. But there are 3 different kinds of treatments or therapies or beliefs or mindsets or practices you can research with Google on your own, or you can watch YouTube videos, though I do suggest you, if you have the patience for it, read medical articles, not just random YouTube videos. And again, here I am on YouTube giving you tips, not advice, tips that can help you on your mental journey, your emotional journey, your spiritual journey. If you are looking to work on your mindset and you are looking to do it from a more spiritual perspective, first of all, get into meditation and learn about mindfulness, okay? If you are looking for good therapeutic services to get you started with help with a therapist, the first thing I would recommend if you're trying to focus on your behavior is dialectical behavioral therapy, also known as D as in dog, B as in boy, T as in Tetris, DBT. This is done really well in group settings. If most local communities in the States offer these services. I don't know about other countries outside of the States, but that is one form of therapy that's really good for working on your behavior. If you have inherited a lot of cycles and a lot of patterns from your family of origin or your community, um, it's usually a behavioral issue. But once you're able to heal the behavioral parts, you can work on the deep emotional effects of your psyche. And the good way to do that is to do cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, C as in cat, B as in boy, T as in triangle. Okay? Look into those. Usually, if you are somebody who is lower income or doesn't have access to care or health insurance, there are usually free programs in your communities depending on your state and region. If you are rural, I am not sponsored by these people, and I haven't used them, but I've heard great things. Better Health Online or Better Help, yeah. Um, it's not a free service, but if you don't have insurance and you live in a rural area, that's a tool you can use. Then they can help you find. Again, this is not medical advice. This is just me sharing community resources that I am aware of, that I myself have accessed. And I do have spiritual chats on my channel if you want to go deeper. I also have advocacy conversations, and I have a subtle little life vlog. So that's me communicating to you ways that you can communicate to others. Because once you work on the behavior and you work on the mind and you clear the past trauma as best as you can to your ability, and everybody's process is a different time frame, okay? Different timelines. But once you get to that point of mastering the past, the present, then you can master the foundation for the future. And then you can really truly step into your spiritual path, because the rest from the 3D will be cleared, so you can be in balance also with the 5D, with the spiritual, with your greatest purpose, your greatest potential, your forward movement. And I've been shuffling the Black Moon Astrology and wants one more card, which is Pluto Transformation in Reverse, number 11. Pluto transformation brings me back to the Judgment card and the Tower card, which are both cards of Scorpio and Pluto of transformation. And I believe 11 is the number for Archangel Metatron, which is interesting because I've recently began to work with Metatron. I do work with archangels along with other energies, and Metatron rules these psychic experiences, these mental downloads, these connections with spirit and the divine, and all the clairs, clairsentience, clairaudience, clairvoyance, claircognizance, etc., etc., etc. So I feel like this is a message from Metatron telling you how you can successfully complete this transformation is through learning about communication. Also, if you're able to take like a local college course, at your local community, or you have a career center close by to you, usually those are free or sliding scale programs. Look into Communications 101 course. That was actually the first college course I ever took, and it was the best idea. I went from being shy and kind of meek to realizing that I had the capacity to actually lead an entire team and have successful presentations, fully exercising my mental intelligence in a charming way. What do you know? That was surprising. That was a beautiful little life experience nugget I'm sharing with whoever actually stuck it out this long in this video. So you're a gem. And I think I'm going to conclude this message now. You have a lot to think about. I've given you many resources. Um, Also, speak to professionals if you are in need of mental, emotional help. If you are in an environment where you can't get that help, speak to your spiritual counselors. If you don't have spiritual counselors, and you have access to the internet, just start researching articles about the topics I have given you. Because knowledge is power, and that also has to do with communication. And if you work with the divine will lead you to the right sources. Set the intention that all information you receive is of the highest and greatest good with complete clarity, and that you can trust this information, that it is useful to you, and that you can integrate it into your psyche for the highest and greatest good. However you want to put that. All right, darlings. Signing off. Many blessings.